Yeah, here's the picture that Bubba Cunningham and his advisors were looking at. Mack Brown is a Hall of Fame coach, no doubt about it. He should be celebrated for both what he did at Texas, as I outlined earlier, and what he has done at UNC, including the top 10 program he built in Chapel Hill during the 1990s, but also including to a lesser degree these last 6 years when he has led the Tar Heels to 6 straight bowl games and stabilized the program and provided a lot of entertaining football with high-profile recruits like Sam Howell or Drake May just at the quarterback position. However, Mack Brown will turn 74 years old next summer. Sam Howell and Drake May are both long gone to the NFL at this point, and Mack Brown's average record over these last 6 seasons, after you round the numbers a little bit, is roughly 7-5. So just more stability, yes, but only slightly above true mediocrity. So stability is a good thing. Mediocrity is a bad thing. And remember, whereas Mack Brown's recent tenure in Chapel Hill did include some very good recruiting. Sam Howell, remember, was headed to Florida State before Mack Brown got him to change his mind. Drake May was headed to Alabama before Mack Brown got him to change his mind. But even the best recruiter is going to have a hard time at 74 years old. Again, that's his birthday next summer going into next season. Even the best recruiter, and Mack Brown's been one of the best, would have a hard time convincing the next generation of either high school prospects or transfer portal guys to sign with Carolina. In this year's high school senior class, Chris, Carolina has a commitment from only one of the top 20 ranked in-state seniors. And I don't think I've ever seen that. And I'm a guy that's covered football recruiting in this state since the late 1980s, and wrote all the articles about how Mack Brown, the first time and this tenure, changed the nature of in-state recruiting because he has had a magical way of talking young people and their families and even high school coaches sometimes into the idea that the Tar Heels or Chapel Hill is the place to be for those top high school prospects. Well, Bubba Cunningham's looking at those high school recruiting results. He, in recent weeks, saw some of the Tar Heels' top commitments flip to other schools, maybe because of their concern about Mack Brown's future, maybe because of their concern about a mediocre 6-5 record and somebody else was winning more. But when you look at those high school senior class recruiting results, those flipping recruits who had previously been committed to Mack Brown, those mediocre records averaging out to 7-5, and even, frankly, this past transfer portal class, yeah, the Heels found a couple of starting players in last year's portal class, but it was not a banner year, and it really paled in comparison to a lot of others. Mack's best portal recruiting was actually done the year before when he found guys like cornerback Elijah Huzzy and offensive lineman Willie Lampkin in the portal, and those guys have been fantastic multi-year players for the Tar Heels. Not so much lately, and with Mack Brown's greatest quality at times being his recruiting and seeing that fade, Bubba Cunningham had a very difficult decision to make. Carolina almost certainly, for the record, and this will come out eventually, I imagine, gave Mack Brown the option of stepping down gracefully and calling it a retirement by mutual agreement or whatever term they wanted to use. But Mack did not want to do that. Mack believed he had more coaching in him. Mack believes his purpose includes leading young men at this stage of his life and career in a coaching capacity. He didn't want to step down gracefully, so they fired him. It's too early to know, by the way, as we're recording this, where the Heels will turn next. But I do understand why they felt the need to make this decision, especially given the very manageable size of Mack Brown's buyout, which is less than $3 million compared to much, much, much bigger buyouts virtually everywhere else you look in the Power Four. So this was a hard decision at Carolina, but I think it's not mere coincidence that Bubba Cunningham announced this roughly 24 hours after Mack Brown made public statements about how he wanted to be back next year and expected and planned to be back next year. I think with the transfer portal coming up in December, with high school signing day coming up, Bubba Cunningham's attitude, and it's the right one if you're going to make a change, the earlier you can make it, the better, so that you can prepare for that portal and have a head coach in place early enough to make the most of the portal and maybe talk to some of these high school prospects before they sign on the dotted line elsewhere in December.